Alright, today is the 1st of February, and in terms of life updates, I feel like today was really productive, honestly. I volunteered at the cat shelter, and the room is dark because I just didn't feel like turning on the light, and the camera kind of gives like a weird, like, paranormal activity kind of vibe, so I'll just keep it like this for now. For maybe just today, or maybe sometime tomorrow as well, or maybe the day after. So today was productive. Cat shelter. I looked into some other volunteer opportunities for senior living homes around here because that's um, really big around where I live, and so I looked into some opportunities there. Maybe they can work with my schedule. I hope so, and they'll definitely give me some more experience in interacting with people and just that sort of realm, talking with people, getting to know people in a more personal way, and maybe perhaps getting being able to coordinate things. That's what I'm looking for, if possible. But the idea is to kind of start off small, so maybe once a week, and hope. I mean, honestly, given my schedule right now, because I am working full time, um, it might be hard to do anything but once a week, for a couple hours, but we'll see. Hope like the most optimal thing is on the weekends I can do it, and if not, then I can do it after work on a weekday. But don't want to overwork myself. This technically is my gap year, so I'm gonna take it easy on the workload for sure. Not easy, but I don't want to overwork myself before I even get to medical school. But and then after that, got my workout in. We went to grocery shop, and I studied my Japanese, and now I'm here. So life update aside, life update done. I'll get there. Today's topic, I don't know. I didn't really think about it too much, but I guess the main thing, I didn't want to keep this update short because it is late already, and I realize I'm making all these updates or these videos pretty late at the point where sometimes I'm too tired to even do anything. But today's update, I don't want to make it too long. If I'm making the day, I still don't want to make it too long, just because if I do rewatch this, I don't want to bore myself. But today's update is gonna be about. Let's talk about anime. Let's specifically talk about my favorite anime. Uh, is it my favorite? One of my favorites. I have two favorites, I think. So my two favorite animes are No Game No Life and One Piece, which I think One Piece is probably my favorite, but No Game No Life is like a really close second. But I would take One Piece any day, but No Game No Life is like I guess my favorite non One Piece anime. And so, well, let's talk about. I don't. One Piece would take a long video. I guess we can talk a little bit about No Game No Life. It was I think the second series that I ever watched in terms of all anime, and it really captivated me. I was junior year high school, and at that time COVID was well, it was like the summer in between my junior and senior year, and COVID was like full blown. I think it was around May-ish, and I was doing nothing. In reality, when I should have done something, but I was doing nothing, and I decided to get into anime. So, first series I watched was Seven Deadly Sins. These were all on Netflix at the time, so that's why. It was just convenient. So I watched Seven Deadly Sins, which that one was really good. I think I watched the first or second, or even third season at that time. And well, if you know anything about Seven Deadly Sins or anime, you know how the anime eventually gets completely. The animation is just completely terrible now, or it was terrible. But the initial seasons were pretty good, and I liked the story behind it. You know, like a very kind of medieval or something like that story. Um, very lore based, right? And then No Game No Life. This is an anime that at the time and still a little bit now feels very relatable. You know, you kind of sitting the real world is kind of you're isolated from the real world, which at that time we were, like it was COVID, right? So it just felt all very surreal and very, you know, very it felt like a real possibility. And so I don't know if I want to say that. It kind of just felt like if this were to happen, it would be like an interesting thing. It would be like a fun thing to do. So yeah, spoil a little bit of spoilers, but well, you can't really spoil it as well, but because as someone who's only watched anime, I don't know anything about the light novel or manga or whatever, but there is no season 2, so I don't know anything beyond what happens in season 1. But these two siblings, I think they're are they step siblings? Yeah, they're step siblings technically, but one's older. I think he's the guy. His name is Sora, and the younger one is like a child prodigy. Her name is Shiro, and they are what in Japan they call NEETs. So they're no like education, no experience. It's something like that. Basically, they stay inside most of the time and play games or are on the internet, and they're really good at games. They never lose. And so one time they get a message from some god, right? Some person claiming to be God, inviting them to play a chess game, and they win, and then they get sucked into this world with where everything is decided with games, right? And there's like 10 rules. I think they're called 10 like commandments, right? So it's maybe a reference to the Moses or whatever Bible thing, but 10 like commandments where these rules are set out, and if you break them, you lose your rights. I don't exactly remember, but this is like the perfect world for them because they they proclaim they never lose at games, like they're unbeatable at games, and throughout the series they really show they do. One of my favorite things throughout the series has to be the color and the vibrance that the show brings. There are so many animes where the color just is not interesting at all. Um, but for No Game No Life, I mean, you really want the color to pop, the visuals to pop because this is some fantasy world, right? Where everything is decided on games. So that is one of my favorite features of the anime. That's what keeps drawing me back. To kind of like surreal, like holographic, sort of um, cartoonish. Like I mean, all anime is cartoons, but like the I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a it's just so like visually appealing to me. Um, you know, besides I know there's like excessive fan service and it gets like a little bit weird at times, but you disregard that and it's like it's just so good. Um, you know, they play a couple of games to decide the fate of countries basically. Like that's sort of the plot is that they become the kings of the weakest country with no superpowers called Allegio? No, I don't remember what it is. I'll have to rewatch it, but they become kings of the weakest kingdom, the human kingdom, who has no resources, has no land, virtually no resources, virtually no land. They still have some, but it's almost nothing compared to the other races, which are like the elves, the werebeasts, and the the flugels, I think is what they're called. Maybe I'm just butchering all this, but so they have to compete against these races which have like superpowers and fought against gods in the past and have so much history and they have so much land and territory and they have so many advantages in games. But these two siblings, uh, they because they're so good at games, they turn the tides against the races which were once thought to be unbeatable. Um, so that's what like I maybe it's like a niche that I like, but I do like the type of games where you kind of have to like really think. It's never revealed that they're gonna win immediately. You kind of have to piece together things, but at the same time, like once the reveal happens and the whole plan sort of gets revealed, then it all comes together, and it's so satisfying for me. Um, let's see what else. I really did like the plot of the story, and it's such a shame. Like I think about it like so many times. I've thought about it so many times over the years how there will never be a season two. And I know the anime came out in I think 2014. So and it's almost been what 2025. So it's almost been 11 years since it came out, and I believe there were talks about like a season two, but they were shut down because of some I don't know, like the creator or something of the manga, just like or the light novel did something. There's some like weird stuff behind it, but the bottom of the barrel is that we will never get a season two, and it is such a shame because the anime is, besides like I said, the excessive, maybe a little bit excessive fan service, um, is like very good. Now, how do I say this? No Game No Life is good, and like I said, it's one of my favorite animes, but it just does not compete to One Piece. I could go on for maybe like half an hour about One Piece, just given how much has gone on and how much of like an emotional how much of an emotional response it's gotten out of me, and for so many others as well. And the journey that it's been on, yes, it is 1,000 whatever episodes, and in the manga, 1,038 chapters up to now. So it is a long series, but it doesn't mean just because it's long, it's drawn out or anything. The anime is a little bit drawn out, but the manga for sure not drawn out. Like um no, I mean both are drawn out a little bit, but the point is like it's not long because it's drawn out. It's long because Oda goes into so much detail and so much world building, and it, there's really no story like it. So that's besides the point. The focus of this video is to talk about that one anime, but One Piece will have to be for another day. And I don't know when I want to spend the time to delve into that. But that's No Game No Life. There are gonna be other animes I talk about like One Piece, but maybe some other ones that I think are really impactful and that should be considered if you ever want to consider watching anime, sorry, or if this is me watching it back, that I would like to talk about and remember before I forget. So, yeah, that's that. Life update, got that done, and I will probably go to sleep soon, maybe read a book. Um, but this has been no lights, just camera and action. For the 1st of February. So we're finally in February, second month of the year. Year's gone by so fast. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. We'll see what we're going to talk about then. Whatever I'm feeling, I guess. Goodbye.